Audio on demand from Vision Christian Media.
Exploring faith and the future. Neil Johnson and Bible teacher Dr. Kameel Majdali.
A focus today back on the Middle East, and in those nations that have dominated the headlines over recent years, usually because of their wars and civil wars. Let's talk about Iraq today, Kameel. Why does Iraq matter?
Neil, Iraq is a country that for a long time has never been far from the news, including up to now, but certainly in the last decades, it's been prominent. I believe that its past, and perhaps even its position in the Bible, helps give us an explanation why. Remember that in the past, Iraq served as the base of 5 world empires, different one from another. No nation on earth has had that kind of legacy like Iraq. I mean, some have had empires, but 5 different world empires, like the Sumerian, Akkadian, the First Babylonian Empire, the Assyrian Empire, the Second Babylonian Empire, and the Abbasid Islamic Empire. So that's one thing. A second thing is its location. A third thing is the fact that it's got 10% of the world's oil. But the other issue may have to do with Bible prophecy itself.
And it's very central, even to the foundations of mankind. And interesting that it should figure also in end times events.
We believe that Iraq, being the land between the 2 rivers, or Mesopotamia as it's called, and that term is actually used in the Bible too, is the cradle of civilization. Civilization began in that area, Iraq and perhaps southern Turkey, and very possibly the world will end culminating in that area too, or at least what we're talking about, Bible prophecy. It really began with the starting of a city by a chap called Nimrod in Genesis 10, and that city is called Babel or Babylon. Babylon is mentioned in Genesis, it's mentioned throughout Scripture, and finally it culminates in the book of Revelation. Amazing. It's almost like Jerusalem and Babylon are a tale of 2 cities. One is the rebel city, one is the royal city or God's city, and of course they have 2 different outcomes. But one of the things we need to watch with Iraq today is, will it rise or fall? Will it succumb to sectarian violence, or will it overcome and become a leader in the region and beyond? And what happens to the city of Babylon itself?
Of course, the nation has been racked by violence ever since Saddam Hussein was deposed, ever since international soldiers were withdrawn. There is great challenges in this nation, and the things we hear most about it are of the latest car bombing, the latest dozens of people killed. It really is a difficult place to be.
There is some instability in Iraq, perhaps some would argue a great instability, but it continues on as is. I won't stake my reputation on anything here, but all I can say is there is a possibility, I'm not saying it's definite, but there is a possibility that Iraq may pull through all of this. And there is a desire among Iraqi political leaders that their nation is going to rise from the ashes, like the rise of Babylon, to become a leader in the region and beyond. I actually said that there's a goal in Iraq, and I said this like hypothetically, not having read anything or heard anything, that Iraq will want to be like Dubai and the Emirates, will like to be like Singapore, becoming a commercial leader and a hub and so on. And then, no joke, a few months later, I read a quote from an Iraqi parliamentarian who said that we are going to be friends with the West, we're going to be greater than Singapore and the Emirates, meaning they're going to become progressive, wealthy, a role model for others. I believe that sentiment is there. If they can overcome their sectarian differences, they have a chance, striking distance, to reach such a goal.
Faith and the future with Neil Johnson and Dr. Kameel Majdali from Teach All Nations. Find articles, videos and podcasts from Dr. Kameel, plus today's and other episodes of Faith and the Future in the Vision app or at vision.org.au.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.